you, Rob. I'm up here with your quote, crap ton of vulnerability. I think that's what you quote you. And I feel like an Avengers. Which one am I? Scarlet Witch, I think. She-Hulk, definitely not that. Which one am I? Iron Man. Oh, thank you. Okay. Who am I? I've got to get the clicker. Sorry, I've stuck like the first thing. I need to get the clicker. It works. Yeah. Okay, so my name's Jimmy Rees. How many people have you heard my name before? Yeah, okay, it's not as many as I thought. Okay, I'm going to have to explain myself. I'm a comedian, I make content as well, so I'm going to do what all comedians do these days, and that is to, if you guys get your phones out, I'm just going to do some crowd work, okay? So, what do? You're a creative, great, that's not going to work. Cool. That gets over real quick. Okay, so I'm going to introduce you. I'll just tell you the way. Yeah. Okay, I'm Jimmy Rees. I make content. I've been doing that for about 5 years now. But I had a previous life. Does anyone know my previous life? Did anyone know Giggle and Hoops? Anyone? Yeah. Okay. All right. You put your hand up. How old are you? I know you have kids. How old are you kids?
She's 8.
She's 8. Yeah. Okay. These are the people who make
you saved my sleep.
I did this. Okay. I have to explain myself. Who doesn't know what Giggle and Hoops is? Oh, damn, that's all, yeah. Alright, so when I was 21, I auditioned for this TV show on ABC, and I was going for these shows which were like tweens, right? They were launching some new channels. Anyway, I got through to the next round and I was on the preschool channels. And all of a sudden, I was dressing in my pajamas, talking to puppet house for a living. So this is me. I get this job, I'm 22 years old, I'm turning 22, and I'm on Giggle and Hoops. And literally that's me and Elmo, the real Elmo came down here, and it was this big show on ABC. It's not a great photo of me, I will admit. I've got a better one. That's not better. Here is what Jimmy Giggle was the character I played. There you go, there's Jimmy Giggle. It's still a hideous photo. Who did that? Okay, we've got better photos, okay? There's me. This is my eyebrow, which I was famous for 10 years. I did Giggle and Hoop from 2009 to 2019. 10 years of me literally raising my eyebrow and speaking in a really high voice, really annoyed parents, but the kids seem to enjoy it, okay? I won't bore you with my loud voice anymore. Oh God, stop doing that. This is me and Giggleosaurus. We toured around. There's me and Danny Meadow. This is just me. It provided me with some amazing things. I got to meet some celebrities, but then the next day I was in a cardboard car again, singing the Gigglemobile ad nauseum to kids. That's me. I don't know why I keep zooming in. I'm so sorry. Here we go. There's Giggle and Hoop. Okay, I think the makeup department looks like they've just come off the set of Twilight. A little too even colour, I think. All right, so that's Giggle and Hoop. Okay, did anyone actually just watch Giggle and Hoop and now have grown up as like 25 years old? Yeah. Wow. Okay, cool. You guys can call me Beal, okay? I've been in bed for 10 years. Okay, so this is the start. I want to give you some context on the content that I create now is kind of silly and fun, and I try and make it funny, right? I mean, that's up to you to think that it's funny, not for me to tell you it's funny, okay? So I put it out there, but I just want to give you some context, because this was me for 10 years ago. This has kind of informed me on my journey of content creation, which came in 2020, alright? So we had this segment on Giggle and Hoop called the Giggle Gallery. This is me with my hideous beret on. Kids would send in pictures. Probably some of you guys might have actually sent in a picture. And we would put it up in the Giggle Gallery, right? Here's one, there's another one. We'd also get pictures like this. And I have to say, they're amazing. Like we'd get some pictures of me and Hoop, we'd be flying through the air, and then I'd get this. Try and be happy about that, okay? It's 6 a.m. in the morning. It's the kind of stuff. What we would do, Hoop and I would look at each other and go, what do we say about this? And we would just say amazing. That was the word we used. We just used everything's amazing. We would say amazing 50,000 times. That it provided this tweet to us in 2014. Drink every time you drink. And you'd be absolutely cold at 5:30 in the morning if you were playing that game, okay? So this is, I just wanted to run through it as well. I learned a lot about cameras, audio, because I was in a professional environment for 10 years at ABC Studios here in Sydney, just in Haymarket in Baltimore in Sydney. For 10 years I walked into that studio every single day. When I was 22 I walked in and I'm like, oh my God, there's 1,000 lights, there's cameras, there's like those big pedestal cameras, you know, like they're massive, they're huge. It was a big professional environment. And I just want to set the scene for the Guild Gallery, right? Just run through what I was dealing with when I was 22. So there's one on me, there's one who's a camera on who, there's a camera on the pictures, right? And we get one sent in, and we had to do, this went out every single day, so there would be like hundreds of them, and we'd shoot them all, we'd shoot like a whole month's work in a day. So it was all day long, we're like, oh my god, this is amazing, oh my god, this is amazing, oh my god, it's so amazing. It would make something like this. Oh look, this first one is from, I can't even pronounce that name. And I'd be on TV, they'd be like, go Jimmy, go! Like, this one's from, and this man has done painting, and look at this, dude. It's like, oh, what can you see? And who is a puppet with a man's hand up his... He'd be standing in his thing over here just going, oh my god, look at that, Jimmy Giggle, tell me what's in there. What's on her dress, Jimmy Giggle? And I'm like, oh, what's on her dress? And I'm like, oh, I don't know. That's a, how about you tell me what's on the dress, dude? We're like, nah, Jimmy Giggle, I got plastic eyes, man, this is all I do. I'm not telling the people what's on the dress. Oh, I don't know what it is, but she's got a big smile on her face, too. I don't know what it is. And then we could just be arguing, like, say it, you say it, no, you say it, no, you say it, no, okay, fine, dude, I'm fine. It looks like a penis. And we would get pictures like this all day long, and we would laugh to each other. We obviously couldn't say that online when it went to air. Okay, so that's the Giggle and Hoot, right? So, what we've discovered is the people who watched Giggle and Hoot in 2009 are now 100 years old, and that makes me 200 years old. Okay, so this is a turning point in my life. Okay, 2019 comes around, Giggle and Hoot decides it's not going to go through its 11th season. So I had to do something, right? I'd been on Dancing with the Stars that year, and that was kind of one of the only things which I was like, okay, that was kind of exposed me to some other audience, not just kids and parents, so I had to do something different. My management and I had a few other things lined up, but as we know, 2020 rolls around, okay? So this was the summary. I've got a quick summary. Giggle and Hoot was no longer. Jimmy's income went to zero. 2020 events. I had 10 booked in 2020, and then COVID came along. That was minus 10. So that's 2020 went to zero. And then so 0 plus 0 plus 0 minus 10 is still zero. I had 3 kids at the time, and quite busy when you have 3 kids. Bags on my arms is 2 to the power of 2. How many videos I posted currently? It was 0. So that gives us the ground. Oh, and I'll talk about my community later, but followers, I didn't have many from Giggle and Hoot, so my online community was basically 0. Okay, then I started making online content, alright? So I thought to myself, 2020's rolled around, I've got nothing. I did go to uni for a fraction of a second and learn a little bit about editing and stuff. So if you can take away anything, just drop out of uni, you can be like me. Okay? Don't take that, don't write that down, that's not what you need to do. So I started making online content. I thought, what on earth am I going to do? Everything went to 0 in 2020, as we know. So I just picked up my camera. First I picked up my phone, and my environment in my house with 3 kids under 5 was absolutely crazy. My son was trying to do like he was going to kinder, and he wasn't. And so we're all at home, and we're all going crazy. So I made a video about that. This is me. Things my son does, and some of these things was just off the freshly cleaned windows. Just wipe his hands all over them. That's fun. He'd pick up a salt shaker just off the table, just lick it and put it back. And he'd say, I need my bum wiped a lot. He would do that a lot, because that's what you do when you've got 3 kids under 5. So this was my first video, posted on Facebook. I reckon I had about 15,000 followers on Facebook at the time. Well, as you can see, it got like 20,000 likes and 15,000 comments and 2.2 million views. So I thought, I think there's something in this. You don't have to stop. We're going to go through some metrics, okay? All right? We're all in dark here, okay? So this is what the metrics thing looked like on Facebook at the time. This is 3-second views, 2.2 million. And then, so I'm thinking, oh my gosh, this is amazing. I've heard about all the people earning money doing this. Isn't this great? Look at this. Engagement, 98,000 reactions and comments and shares. This is unbelievable. I am going to be an absolute swillionaire. $3.42. What is that? $3.42. So yeah, not all it's cracked up to be. Let's just go back to the summary. I can add $3.42 to my income. Isn't that great with 3 kids under 5 and a mortgage? That's so good. Followers were growing up, COVID went to -1 million, and I still got bags under the eyes and still do second time. And on paper skills, by the way, as I said, I dropped out of university, I had nothing. At the time, Centrelink, at the time, during COVID, literally called me up and was like, do you want to be a forklift driver? I think they're looking for some, and I'm like, what? Transferable skills? Do I have to do that? I'm making dumb videos for the internet. So random. Okay, so I continue to make online content, alright? I just kept putting things out there. Now, my advice to you, my first piece of advice would be drop out of uni and then, no, it is, write everything down. Because that was just me observing my surroundings. And I thought it was funny. And I then didn't know it was going to be funny until, I thought it was funny, but I just put it out there. And it went incredibly well. So I thought, I'm just going to do another part of this. That's what I started to do. So I do part 2 of this, then I'll do part 3, and people seem to enjoy it. People would get me dragged in from all parts of the internet going, oh, someone saw this, someone shared it, the community starts to grow. So I just put something out there. I think the first, and again, the advice has been like given a million times, but if you don't try it, you will never know. So you just got to put it out there. And it does take a little bit of courage, like Ron said. It does, I felt a little bit embarrassed almost that I would put this out and my friends would see it. I actually would start putting things out on TikTok first sometimes, because I thought, TikTok's a little random at the moment in 2020. My Instagram people, they're my people. I don't want to put it out on Instagram yet. And to think that I did that back then, being like, I'll just put anything out now, like it doesn't, but at the time I felt a little bit nervous to put it out on Instagram. So I kept doing things, right? I kept trying things. It was all about parenting, it was about homeschool, it was about all these different things. These were in my immediate surroundings. Then I kept writing things down, thought outside the box a little bit. I didn't know if it was going to work, but I made this video called The Guy Who Decides Packaging. Okay? With this guy, Jason, and this guy, the arsehole. He's the guy. Has anyone seen these videos? Okay, so maybe a few, right? If you haven't seen it, this is just Jason speaking to the guy who invents things, but he was inventing like the packaging. Who decided the packaging, all right? Like the broccolini. Who decided that it has a purple elastic band on it? That guy does, okay? And the other guy, Jason's trying to be reasonable, he's like, can we just put one, like a normal brown colour elastic band? It's like, it must be purple! Or the milk handle, okay? So a 2 litre carton, a bottle of milk has a handle. 2 litres of juice, no handle! Why? I don't know. Scissors! Put them in a package and use scissors to open with! Just like this stuff. Well, it's that guy. He's an a-hole and he was doing it all day long. Now look at this next, okay? So this was me just trying things. I thought it was the silliest video in my brain. I don't know if people are going to connect with this. It turned out it was ridiculously relatable, and I didn't know. 11 million views, 19 million people reached. We've got 627,000 reactions, comments, and shares. I don't know how many followers I had at the time, but it wasn't this amount of people. And drum roll. It was $10,600. Oh my God. This is unbelievable. Now, I will put a little caveat here. It's not like this for every video. And it's not like this now. At the time, Facebook wanted you to make a 3-minute video. It had to be 3 minutes. So this video is 3 minutes and 1 second. And you had to have 30,000 followers, which I met. And then after 1 minute of your video, so you had to try and make it engaging enough for your video to reach 1 minute, and then they would be shown like a YouTube ad on Facebook. And that's where this one did well, because people watched for a minute, and then the flag falls on the ad revenue, and then it ended up being that much money, which was crazy to me. And I thought, oh my goodness. So I just tried to figure out, why did this work? I instantly made part 2. I think it was funny. Like, it's funny. Even just mentioning it to you now, people go, oh yeah, why? It made people think. It's relatable. Next time people walk around the supermarket, they're like, oh, that is so weird. Or like in the punnet of strawberries. They have a punnet of strawberries, it's a see-through box with the strawberries in it. In the raspberries, it's a see-through box with the raspberries in it. A smaller one. In the blueberries, it's got a pillow. The raspberries got a pillow. Blueberries don't. And people were like, oh my gosh, why? So it's something that people could relate to. And I think the characters do a big thing. And this is like what I learned from my days in TV. It was just repeatable things. It was a character that you know. They can relate to Jason. Jason's us, and the guy is the CEO of some packaging company. But we're Jason, and we're fighting a good fight. And there's some guy there going, no, do the opposite. And we all just go, okay. So that's why I think it's kind of works. So I was trying to break these things down. So I have a little catchphrase as well. It was from my time at Giggle and Hoot. It was like, see you in the morning. It had all these little catchphrases. And a second where a minute, we'd say it all the time. And these little, and we used to make them up as well and see if they'd catch on the TV. I did it for 10 years. There was a lot of time thinking about these silly little things. So I had, the guy says to Jason, he spits his drink at him every time he makes a reasonable pause. He spits his drink at him and he says, Jason, 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 what are you, an idiot? Or he'd say, shut up, Jason, and spray his thing into it. People love that. They comment it back. I love when he says Jason, Jason, Jason. So that goes in the next one. And it was shareable. People want to say, yeah, you noticed this as well? So it's this shareable kind of thing. So that's why I think it did as well as it did. Now, I've flogged this to death. Now it's the guy decides. The guy decides everything now. The guy could decide this summer if he really wanted to. Because it's always just trying to find the contrary thing, or the thing that seems logical. But no, we go in the other direction as a society. And that's, like you can take phones for instance. Make them smaller. Make them smaller for a decade, Jason. No, make them enormous. Like, it's just silly. But when you think about it like that, you're like, oh yeah, Jason's going, no, I don't think you should make it smaller. And he's just spitting in his face going, no, we're doing the opposite. And so I made a part two. Part two included international packaging. This is how the Canadians package their milk. In bags, plastic bags. And then, so we have milk in a bottle with a handle. They take their bags home of milk and put them in a jug with a handle. I'm not lying. It's not all of Canada, but parts of Canada are still weird. And then they don't put they don't buy one bag at a time. They put two bags in another bag. And then they take it home and do that. Another thing about the bite-sized packaging was, it kind of like opened people's eyes to the amount of plastic waste that we have as well. Because everything becomes wrapped in plastic, like cereal, wrapped in plastic, put it in a cardboard box. Everything seems to be wrapped in plastic. So it had this thing. I actually got invited in the middle of COVID to Las Vegas to speak at the international packaging off the back of the guy who decides packaging. And I'm like, what? Hey, I'm not going to America. And what? So I made videos. I made heaps of videos. This was my feed. I chose a style as well. I don't know if that's what you guys are into, but I chose a bit of a style. I chose a text. I use this one now, but there's some of the old ones, which was just like impact or something. And I put a drop shadow around it, and that was the style. So when people saw that, the guy was like, oh, that's that guy who does that. There's a little relatability on my feed. And then, so I made heaps of videos. I mean, these videos went so successful, he wrote a damn book. It's crazy, right? Someone asked me to write a book, I was like, I don't think I can do that. They're like, do it! I'm like, okay. We sold the glasses. We sold the glasses. Now people can make decisions at home off the guy decides. And that brings me to another piece of content, which I think you're picking up that I like a little series, alright? So the guy decides is a series. And I am a big advocate for a series. If you have a series, whether you're a photographer or you're doing similar things like me, a videographer, or whatever you're doing, I love a little series. And I think it keeps you focused on like, okay, that one was going well, or doesn't even need to go well. You need to try a few times for it to get to gain the traction that you want. But you could give it an aesthetic. You could give it like a catchphrase or whatever, or it's part one, part two, or you could give them different names. Meanwhile in Australia was a massive thing for me. I got up to part 60, I think, in the end. This is got to part 57. But Meanwhile in Australia was a video about me playing all of the states through COVID. A crazy time, everyone's watching the news, but you can't take it all in, it's so crazy. So I played all of the states, personified them all. Tasmania's down here looking up at the rest, Victoria's looking down, and Western Australia's looking over, New South Wales looking down, and all the different news that was happening. Now I just want to go through my process a little bit. So this is how this video is made. Some of them went for 10 minutes, I think my longest one was 15 minutes of me playing 4,000 characters. I put a headband on, I looked to the left, and then I put some glasses on, and I'm like, oh yeah, now an earthquake happened. Oh, leave the earthquake, put a hat on. It's an earthquake, right? So this is how it works. big long script, right? That's actually half of the script. It just keeps going on and on and on and on. I just write out a script. I put it down. I gather all the news. This could take me 5 days to write this script. Well, to get all the information to write a script. So it is planned. A lot of people think I was doing it in my garage, just like making it up as I go. No, it's actually planned a lot. There's a lot of ad libs in there, but when I'm filming it, but it is yes, to the T. It is basically scripted. Otherwise, you don't know what you're doing, right? I would love to be someone who would just pick up the camera and go, hey, I'm going to make this amazing, like, guide-size level for me video, just on a whim. But I think a lot of people can't do that. So, work on it. And this is my 9-to-5 job now. I went from being on Giggle and Heard, and that was someone else made all the decisions, someone else wrote the script, and that was all me. So I go to work every day, I sit in my office, and I go, be creative, damn it! I sit there from 9 till about 4 o'clock, until my wife's like, you should come home now. I'm like, okay. And I work on scripts like this. I had a little place like this. This is just me facing the camera in a little shoved office in the back of the little creative spaces. There was like ceramicists, and there was painters, and there's me in the background going, shut up, Tasmania! That's pretty loud and pretty annoying for other people, but I moved out of there quickly, and now I have my own warehouse, or like sort of warehousey kind of thing. I've built some little sets in there, and I've got a guy who works with me full time. So if you told me that 5 years ago, I'd be like, excuse me, why don't I do this full time? And I'm paying someone else to work with me full time. So that's how it's gone around. So Meanwhile Australia comes around. It's another series for me. As I say, I love series. If you can write down even the kernel of an idea for a series, I think it would be really helpful. Always jotting things down. Meanwhile Australia video, I'll be like, I need to make one this week because something crazy happened. At the moment, I'm making Meanwhile American videos because you know what. Like, he's got a chainsaw, alright, we have to make one in a few days, you know? Like, that's the kind of stuff. So I've written that down and I'll collate all the stuff, crazy stuff that's happened in America in the last few days, or whatever. It seems like you do it every day. And I'll collate that into a video and I'll put it out there, clip it up, and then it goes out in November. So this is what happened with Meanwhile Australia in 2021. I have 1 million new followers on my socials. I started my YouTube channel, and that started to go okay. I sold to Meanwhile Australia merchandise and I announced the 2022 live stage tour. Pretty much off the back of a couple of these series of videos. I would have heaps of videos in between, but a lot of people came to my show from Meanwhile Australia because it kept, a lot of people said it kept them sane through COVID, okay? So it's like something that like people could appreciate. My son starts school in 2021 as well. Barely went. He started homeschool. We went crazy. And then doing a TikTok. Okay. Meanwhile Australia live looked like this. This is crazy. Absolutely crazy. So this is the power. This is the power you have. Sean was talking about it. You can have a few videos to build on, and you can get. This was my dream when I was a Giggle and Heard, when I was younger, to have my own show. 2,000 people there, 2,500 people there. Have my own show, a comedy show. It's just me. That was my dream. I never thought that I would be creating content, and that's the way I would get there through TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube videos. I did not think that was the way. The traditional way of becoming a comedian is to go to an open mic night with 7 people. 3 of them leave half away. And you're just slogging it away for hours and hours and hours in different venues, and you're gathering your jokes, you're making them better, you're working on them. Well, that's what I did online. Just threw everything at my content online. It made people laugh, they found it relatable. I put some tickets on sale. We started with 6 shows, it ended at 40. I had to do 40 shows to accommodate all the people. And I'm not just flexing, I'm just saying that like, this is the power that you have if you're starting your journey, or if you're halfway through it, or whatever. If you have a dream, the power is insane. It's crazy. It completely changed my life. I was working at the ABC. I don't know why I just rolled up there for a second. It's emotional, guys. I was working at the ABC, and I thought I was on a decent wage there. I worked there for 10 years, that was fine. Making content online, my life has completely changed. The content creation has done that for me. So what have I learned along the way? I'm wary of time. I don't even know. That's just the time going up, and it doesn't say anything. 5 minutes? Oh my God, hurry up, Jimmy. Content. What have I learned? Okay, here's some tips. I actually put into AI what are the tips that people would want to learn if they're starting out. Because I'm like, I don't know. So here's some tips. How to define your niche and audience. It'll find you. Be yourself. I'm literally a professional complete idiot. I stole half of my wife's wardrobe and wore it to be, I don't know, to basically imitate her. In a video where I'm both of the parents. I played Tasmania as a state. I personified a crocodile. Like, it's just completely silly. They will find you. If you love sheep shearing, then post sheep shearing content and the sheep will follow. The sheep will come. They'll flock. But you know what I mean? Like, I think you can get bogged down and going, I need to find my niche. I need to define my audience. What is my audience first? No, I reckon you just throw it out there. You've got to put it out there and just do it because they won't know. Someone will comment something and be like, oh my God, that was great. Or they'll be like, that was weird. And you're like, maybe I'll meet in the middle, you know? Like, I'm not one for looking at negative comments, we'll get to that, but there are some. Which platform to use? All of them. It's so easy right now to make one video and chop it up for every single one. It used to be a little bit like, okay, put one's widespread. YouTube, we need to do one for YouTube. Square for Instagram, no square, we want vertical. No, they're all trying to do everything, okay? Everyone's trying to compete with everyone. They all want a vertical video, and if you film it wide, this is what I do, film it wide in 4K, chop it to that, easy. But where are you at? You put on auto reframe or whatever, and it just follows you around. So use them all, My TikTok audience, slightly different from my Instagram audience. My Instagram audience, wildly different to the Facebook one. People have got too much time on Facebook. The comments are still way too long, and I don't know why. It is so strange. How to grow the audience? I think you shouldn't worry about this either. There is so many different, you'll see, once you watch one, the algorithm will find you. Here's one way to hack your audience. I'm going to give you 50,000 more tips. I don't know if they work. I think it's all about the quality of your video. And you can learn from your own videos, is what I'm saying. You need to get your own feedback. Guy decides work. Cool. The guy decides first video looks way different from the last one. It's gotten a bit more production values. It's gotten a little more, quicker. The pace is quicker. And it's just evolved. And I wouldn't have known that if I had just looked back at the old ones and okay, I've got slightly better every time. I think the audience will come to you, and then they'll grow with shares, and they'll just tell people, and we'll find it. I think you can worry about those things. Monetization options are very interesting. The metrics you saw before, it's not like that. If you're, I'd say YouTube is the one if you can get paid to make the content. But YouTube's hard. YouTube's kind of like one of those ones where, I don't know, it's a little bit different for me. My content doesn't quite sit there because it's kind of like wild and crazy. You're watching it on their TV at home, they don't want to go like, wow! When it's 7 o'clock, you're like, oh my God! That's a little generalising because there are shorts and stuff like that, but people tend to watch them on their phone. So there is a little bit of awareness of how people are going to consume it. I think you could probably look into that a little bit more. The equipment and software needs, obviously you need a great Fujifilm camera, absolutely. I use a camera, very nice camera with a lens, and I don't use my phone is what I'm saying. I do not use my phone. The GFX 100 I think is waiting for me outside as a gift. I've used all of them, to be honest. I've got every single thing. I'm not going to that's up to you. Some people make these like videos which are like authentic on their phone, and that's awesome. I've always been a bit of tech. I worked in a professional studio where all the equipment would have cost millions of dollars, so I'm a little bit obsessed with that. So get yourself a GFX 100, absolutely. Dealing with negative feedback, this is what you do. If you've got a bunch of followers and you post something and there's 98% of them are like, oh my God, this is great, oh my God, this is so funny, oh my God, I shared this with them. There's one that'll say, this sucks, and you'll be like, oh, this one person has just ruined my day. You can't look at them. It's just so silly. It just cuts you up. You're like, that was a little 2020 that. And you're like, really, is it? It just doesn't happen that way. Yeah, so you just got to kind of ignore those. And consistency in planning. 9 to 5 job for me. It's 9 to 5. I do it. I try and be funny every day. Sometimes it's not that funny. You know, one of my comments I do like is, "What the did I just watch?" And that's kind of, I'm like, okay, they didn't really. It wasn't the best video, but they were kind of weirded out by it. That's okay with me. And planning, scripting. You saw my scripting. Okay, I just want to quickly touch on my community, all right? Because I think it's really important. You can mine them. If you're getting just stuck for information, if you've got, like, I don't know, you've got 1,000 followers, just ask them on Instagram. It's so easy to connect with them. I'm going to ask you for 100 ideas, and you give them to someone, give them to me. And we could be like, that's so funny. If we have a little rapport with our audience, I think it's amazing. So my community, I make my videos accessible to everyone. I bleep out my swearing. That was just a little hangover from I use that as a poignant moment when I put up there. So kids still follow me from this here. But I take suggestions and I like to laugh at myself. And I asked them, here's an example of asking your audience, okay? Again, and these videos called POV, you're from Canberra, you're from Melbourne, whatever, and it was me being a shop attendant, and like I just mimed them. It would just be all the things that you would buy if you were from Sydney and you went into a shop that sold Sydney things. You know, it's just silly. And it was just silly. And I go, beep, 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 beep. Okay, because it's Canberra one, right? I hadn't done one for Canberra. And I said to my audience, I didn't know anything about Canberra. I know a few things. I know they have a statue that kind of, it's supposed to be an owl, it looks like a penis. That's all I knew. I asked my audience, put it on Instagram. Hey guys, I'm going to make one of those POV videos for Canberra. Give me some. I wrote down what they said. I made a video saying the things that they said to me. Canberra lost their mind. It got shared all around Canberra. Like, he knows us. Is he from Canberra? This is unbelievable. It's easy. For that series, that's all I needed. I needed one-word answers. Oh, they have lane 1 form, not form 1 lane. It's just silly things like that. They say Manuka, not Manuka. It's all these weird things, right? All these camera-centric things. Just mind your audience. They're there waiting for you. They want to know. They want to feed back to you. So I would absolutely ask them. As for opportunities, I kind of touched on this before. 10 years on TV, I got on Dancing with the Stars, which was amazing. It was an amazing experience, but it took me 10 years to get one other TV opportunity. I know that I was on Kids TV, and that's a little bit different. But the opportunities I've got from making silly videos for online, Taskmaster, I've been on the project a million times, events, I've done my live shows, publishing, sponsored content, talking about monetization options. Sponsored content is something that if you put one out there, it'll come flooding. You can make lots of money, okay? All right, so that's one thing that comes in time. Keynote speeches, look at me go. So let's go to the summary. Still 0. Hey. Jimmy's income, $3.42. That's a little bit more. I'll be honest with you, it's a bit more. Work events, it's hundreds, there's lots. COVID, who cares? Keynote speeches, 1. Plus 1. Plus 1 more. Fantastic keynote speeches? Yeah, I know. Kids, still got 3 kids. They're 9 and twins are 6 now. Bags under the ice, still got bags under the ice. How many videos posted? 500 plus, I know, we're all been waiting for it. Okay. Community, it's 4.5 million currently. That's good, okay. We all want to know. Drum roll. 1, yes!